Hello, and welcome to Erin Twibbles Around Aimlessly. I'm Erin, and on this channel I talk about budget planning, debt elimination, and lifestyle, but especially about paying off our $43,000 of consumer debt using the Budget Mom Budget by Paycheck method. If these are topics that pique your interest or curiosity, then stick around. And don't forget to click those like and subscribe buttons. Today I'm going to be budgeting our first two paychecks of January. And timestamps for the video are in the video description below and also in a pinned comment if you want to jump to content areas. So let's get started. So using the Budget Mom's Budget by Paycheck method is new to us this year. We have always had a monthly budget. We've been doing that ever since I was in graduate school. And so we're used to having a budget, but I've always kind of done it haphazardly and month by month. And what that has done is that haphazardness gave a lot of flexibility and made it really difficult to stick to goals. I would also have very broad goals. This year, we have a very specific goal. We have a specific goal of paying off $43,000 in debt, and we have a specific goal of paying an extra $2,100 towards our consumer debt every month, and then using the snowball method to roll that over. By having those specified numbers, it was really important that money was allocated and then also that I got the money out of the account immediately. And that's why I was intrigued by the zero-based budget approach. And that is what we are, and so that is what we are working with. It is a learning process as well, getting to really know your budget, getting to know your debt, just getting to know everything financial, and really thinking ahead, especially for us. And with the Budget by Paycheck Mom, she uses a zero-based budgeting. So you plan out everything that is coming out of your paycheck prior to spending any of it. So it's all on paper, it's all got a home. And currently I am paid fortnightly and my husband is paid weekly. But I'm combining our fortnightly pay with his weekly pay for 2 weeks into one 2-week block of budgeting. But I'm still going to complete a worksheet for each paycheck separately because not everything can be done out of just my paycheck alone yet. That's another big goal. So our first two paychecks that we're going to have, I have two different sheets. So first getting paid on the 30th of December, and then the next we are getting paid, we have income coming in on the 6th of January. And we go from Wednesday to Tuesday and then in a 2-week block. So everything that we bring in those first 2 weeks will be spent in those first 2 weeks. The same with the second 2 weeks, and then weekly will be transfers on Thursday to make those extra payments so I'm not tempted to spend that extra money. So we're going to look at our income, our bills, what we're going to have in our envelopes, both cash and digital, sinking funds for savings, and what we're going to be paying to extra debt or extra savings as well. So let's dive in. Starting with our income. Our income is extremely consistent. The only one that is variable is other, because that will include money that we take from sinking funds that we're going to be using to pay off those bills. We consider it to be income. That way it's already budgeted in and not a surprise. So for Erin, for income, $3,178. Gary is $1,055 for the first one, and then it changes. He actually increased his salary sacrifice for superannuation. $50 from our son for his contribution to rego and insurance. And then other that we're taking from sinking funds and also from reimbursements for medical is $2,881. And $1,400 of this that is coming in is specifically designated to go to the credit card, and that will be on top of our overall $2,100 for the month. Next, we are going to look at our bills and what bills we have for the month. So I've pre-populated everything in Adobe PDF. I have Adobe Pro. That's how I was able to enter all of this in. So our first pool payment comes out on the 19th. Or it doesn't come out on the 19th, comes out on the 31st, and that is for $19. Credit card payment is $273. And all of these are on the first. Water, $348. Our first car rego. It's always nice to have regis due right away at the beginning of the year. $750. $90 for Disney Plus, and $185 for my professional subscription to Dropbox. So anytime we pull something from a sinking fund, no matter when it is due that month, I always just pay it on the first. It's like ripping off the Band-Aid and getting it out of the way. Our mortgage is $370. We are lucky here in Australia that we can make weekly payments on both loans and on mortgages. There's no additional fees, fine, cost, or anything associated with it. So we take advantage of that just to reduce that interest faster, get more to principal. And our loan is $274. So these repeat every single week. And so does our private health cover. And private health cover for both my husband and I is $80, so $40 each. And then that takes care of the first full week in January, and then the next are going to cover bills in the second week. So the pool coming out again on the 7th for $19. House insurance is $230, and again another loan payment for $274. So that always remains pretty much the same. So we have an income total of $7,164, and we have a total in bills of $2,912. When we subtract that from the $7,164, we are left over with $2,252, and that carries down to our envelopes, 252, and these are both cash and digital envelopes. And again, some of these we pull out the entire amount for the month on the first, others are broken up at 2 different points, and then groceries is always weekly. So groceries per week, $350. So we are working on seeing if we can trim that some. Doggos, we do every fortnight, so $150. That is for their food and their snacks. We have very large dogs. They are just around 100 kilos combined, so over 200 pounds of dog loving in this house. Household, this is all up front, $200, so that is for the entire month. Same with spending. For fuel, $250, and again, this is per fortnight. Transport, $171, and health is $250, but I'm actually going to turn this into a sinking fund come the end of the month after, just because there's stuff that I have to reuse each month and it's easier to track it that way. But that gives us a total of $1,571 for our envelopes and a leftover amount of $2,681. And that $2,681 is now what we are going to divide up into our sinking funds. So 2,681, 40 to emergency, and all of our sinking funds are done fortnightly, every 2 weeks. 235 to regos, 185 to utilities, 190 to maintenance, 50 to Christmas, 42 holidays, and $16 to our subscriptions. That gives us a total of $756 for our sinking funds, and leaving us with $1,925 to go towards our first debt payment for the month. So leftover 1925, and we are putting all of that to the credit card. And as I said, I will have to transfer that every week, because if it stays in my account, I will be tempted to spend it. So I'm just taking that temptation away. That leaves nothing left over. So nothing going to subscriptions. That gives us a 0. And this is what we are looking for. A great big goose egg. That is paycheck 1 taken care of. But now we're going to do the same with our second paycheck. And there's not near as much that comes out, but again, we're not at a point to where we can make those payments yet all from one paycheck. So nothing contributed by me in week 2, 1,100 or 1,015. So that decreased a bit because he's making an additional salary sacrifice. $50 from the child, and then all of the sinking fund money, that was all taken out on the 1st, so nothing should come from there. So 1,065 is what we have to spend in week 2, which is only 2 bills that we have to pay. So we once again pay our mortgage. So this is in week 2, these are on the 12th, and our health insurance. So that is all that will come out for bills, $450, and a leftover of $615. And you might be thinking that, oh, but some of that could actually go back in your previous, and it could be budgeted out from there, but I also want those quick wins of just getting some of that, getting those payments to the credit card coming in as well. That's what works for us, and that's the thing with budgets is you find what works for you and then you just do you. Groceries, again, $350, that will be in cash. So $350, giving us a leftover of $265. No, there are no sinking funds, so we would have $265 for them, but there are none. So this week we're going to have $265 to put towards our credit card debt, and all of that again is going to the card. $265. We eventually are going to try and get some money to subscriptions, just not this paycheck. So extra debt total, $265. Leftover is 0. So nothing, nothing, nothing. And that gives us a 0 at the bottom. And again, another 0. Which makes me very happy, even if it is just on paper. Because that helps me to make it happen, and I'm a visual person. I like to see that. So that is our money. And the last thing that I like to do, because all of this is going to be coming out week by week, is that is on my monthly calendar. And I know it looks weird because I started on a Wednesday, but I for the budget, I do it coinciding with our paychecks. So we have payday. So this payday is going to do cash for this week, sinking funds, pool, Disney, Dropbox, Rego, water, card. And then for next week, it is also going to pay the pool and the home insurance. Oh, and I forgot to put in, but we'll also have over here, mortgage, loan, health, mortgage, loan, health. So this will also pay our mortgage and then one additional loan payment. And then last is the second week, so payday, cash. There's no sinking funds this week, so health insurance and the mortgage, and that is all. So that will take care of our first 2 weeks in January. And from there, I do use cash envelopes, so I do have the cash to put into our cash envelopes. I love our cash here because it's so colorful. So for groceries will be 50, 20, 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, 350. Household, 50, 100, 50, 200. And spending 50, 100, 50, 70, 90, 200. And I just have a basic whatchamabob that you want to call it. And my envelopes I print off from the Budget Mom. I utilize her resources a lot. There's not too many Etsy stores here in Australia that sell cash envelopes, and the shipping from the U.S. is quite a bit to have them out, so I don't have anything too fancy. So groceries, that gets to 350. The spending is 200, and 100 of that will be taken away and given to my husband right away, same as out of the groceries. And household also gets 200. And anything that we have left over at the end, I roll over. We're also doing the $5 challenge. So anytime we get a $5 note, it immediately goes into this envelope. Again, I have to put it away, otherwise I'll be like, I still have $5. And our change just goes into a just a large jar. Thankfully, my husband likes coffee, so we'll fill up probably 2 or 3 of these jars over the year with that loose change. So that is it. That is where we are at. As we get through, each week, I'll do a quick check-in and kind of show how we are going, and of course, a closeout and reconciliation at the end of the month, because that's important as well. So if you are enjoying or are intrigued by this journey, I'd love to have you follow along. Feel free to give this video a like, and if you feel compelled to subscribe, do so. And drop a few words of encouragement as well. Share how you are going in your personal journey if you have started one. Have you figured out how much you're going to be spending for the month? As always, choose kindness, show gratitude, and keep a positive mindset, and I will see you in the next video.